I want to see it here for Buriram. Twisted Fate, Lee Sin, such a good combo, and Cannon coming in. I think this is what, the second or first even Cannon game we've seen.
Yes, the first one of Sea Champs. We've yet to see it. It is the ultimate team fighter. Nobody but, well, I suppose anybody but split pushing abusers loves to see this one. I love it for team fight. The Slicing Maelstrom comes on through. Everybody screams, and everybody gets excited because there is that TF.
Yeah, this is the thing that we were looking forward to the most. Archie has such an insane win rate on this champion, and he pairs it so well when you're going for an aggressive jungler like the Lee Sin, and it depends on how FENNEL University play this one out, right? If they bring Ziggs back down to the bottom side and play for something else mid instead, you could see a really good spot for the Twisted Fate to be in. That being said though, Ziggs should be able to hold him down. Okay, this is interesting. I don't mind the Rengar. I think it's a pretty good pick. I would have maybe preferred Kha'Zix a little bit more, but still a really good pairing to work with what they have so far.
I do want to point out, I'm glad you brought up win rate on Twisted Fate, because he is 4-1 in the Sea Champs as well, 7-2 in his regional league. So this is a huge pick for Archie, right? And I think, yeah, the Rengar is fine. I do like that it is kind of more of a pseudo frontline than Kha'Zix can be. And what you need from FENNEL University is people to just run in for you, right? And there we go. We get the Cat Ball, we get the Senna healing and buffs, and we get the Super Mega Inferno Bomb on top of all of that. Pretty nice ideas from FENNEL University. I do like the adaptation to pick up the Galio sub though. Very rarely will you hear people say, oh, Galio sub here is good because of the magic damage shield. But this game, it's actually good because when he outs in the magic damage shield, it's going to be so helpful against the Ziggs ultimate as well as the command shockwave.
I'm pretty curious to how this Galio is going to play this one out, because we've seen different adaptations, playing for damage, playing for tankiness. You know, you could make it work on either end. So if they want to go and push for that, you could see a much more aggressive, much more kill-heavy kind of game, as opposed to the first one where it was relatively tame up until they made the late point.
Yeah, I mean, looks like to me they've just swapped sides, and red side is just sort of relegated to playing this catball composition, right? You know, Singe is gone, doesn't matter anymore, but they're saying what worked from game number 2, we're now going to combine that now with the catball, and BURIRAM has said, all right, it's time to bust out something a little bit more creative. Let's give us that first game of Kennen. Let's run it back now with double globals, and let's deny Domain this Lee Sin.
The big problem that I see is, yeah, you have the double globals, right? But you don't truly have someone that you want to play that around. Cannon is not your traditional split pusher. He wants to come to team fights. You need to have something like the Fiora, the Camille, the Irelia even. So it's a little bit curious. And the way I see this one likely to play out is that they're going to be using the Galio ultimate defensively, and they're going to be using TF to push side lanes and use Destiny's Gate to come to team fights, rather than using TF to go to the side lanes with the Destiny's Gate.
Yeah, it looks interesting for sure, and I think that what we've seen from FENNEL University is a composition that looks kind of similar to what they've been working with, but also with some new adaptations with new tech.
Well, let's find out who got the draft advantage and who's going to pull ahead in this best-of-5 series. Currently tied at 1-1. Let's throw it back to our casting team.
I'm a catch that, Skimmy. You're still watching esports. Into game number 3 between BURIRAM and FENNEL and Riku. We've got a series on our hands.
I know, this is the first ever Kennen we're seeing in the tournament. So excited to see how this is going to work out, because Kennen slicing Maelstrom into the Galio ult sounds pretty spicy, especially Kennen, I believe back in PPGL, has been that answer against poke compositions, high range, big range compositions, rather, like a Varus or a Ziggs. So I'm excited to see this be executed by Noel.
Because a good slicing Maelstrom just ends an entire team. Like, you don't get to maneuver. So we'll see as we start off. This reminds me of the Summoner series over in North America. A little bit of good old 3v3 at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, having to just visit the mid lane to ensure that priority. You also get a little bit of that experience. Back to the lane. Here you responded the same way.
Oh, this poke. This Senna Ziggs lane from Danny and Rafe is just disgusting. Kenemon's rooted.
Exactly. And it's so interesting how BURIRAM decided not to do the lane swap, because in 2 separate games, maybe this is why.
Shiba, he misses the call. He goes in with the Sonic Wave onto a minion instead and just eats half his HP in an instant. You can't make mistakes against that bottom lane.
Like a second rather than. But yeah, this is, again, a Kaisa lane versus something with high poke is always going to be very, very oppressive. See if there's going to be a fight in the Rift color.
Oh yeah, full roam up. FENNEL want to punish their knowledge, and they've got supporter very low with a flash. He's shut down. Doming finds the kill alongside Rafi. Rafi actually gets credit, but Doming keeps going, and Archony lands the gold card. The Sonic Wave from Shiba was a little bit short, so there's no follow-up. FENNEL already demonstrating a killer instinct, though, going toe-to-toe with Shiba's early game Lee Sin.
Exactly. This is, again, a different mode of FENNEL adversity where, okay, sometimes they really like their scaling, but on other days, they like to play aggressive, like what we saw back with Doming on the Lee Sin, and now on this Rengar. We're trying to find and match Shiba here as, okay, yes, it's going to be that Lee Sin who's going to create early game plays, big level 3 spike, big level 5 spike, and FENNEL has been matching that so far.
Yeah, stepping really aggressively, and I love the team call around that as well, Riku, to just hard punish once they know where he is, the entire team collapsing on him.
Yeah, exactly. They were able to, Danny and Rafi manage their lane so well. And well, saved by the minion there, I suppose.
Shiba has a rivalry with these minions. That is the second time in this very short game that his engage has been prevented by a minion.
Exactly, and there's this mirror as well, right? Because Doming has basically did the same thing earlier. Visit duo lane, be able to get that first blood, get that counter gank, and so far 2 attempts hasn't not only failed, but it created this domino effect where FENNEL adversity was able to get first blood.
Minions, like the Secret Service there for both Power and Danny. Get down, Mr. President.
I can't imagine the minion saying, "Are you all right, sir? Are you all right? We got you."
Flash, but he's still taunted. This is dangerous. Oh, that's a kill. Dawning Shadow nearly finds supporter. Archony blew his ult as well to join this fight with the Destiny. But FENNEL tied up. BURIRAM have got some blood on their hands.
Yeah, nicely done. That is exactly what we're expecting coming from a Twisted Fate. I remember when Archony picked up the Twisted Fate up against Divine Esports, it didn't bode too well. There was non-existent level 5 Destinies to influence the lane, and now we get to see that for firsthand.
Noel back to the top side, backed up by supporter. And they're going to keep going. They save the turret and engage onto Power. Doming's just leaving him. You either get out or you don't, bud. I'm not the minions. I'm not worried about you.
Yeah, you can tell Doming is basically signaling Power to just get away from this. But because of that engage at top side, it means FENNEL adversity can't exactly contest this Rift Herald. Unlike before, where they got, what, 2 objectives right away, right off the bat. But this time, it's just going to be a trade. It's going to be the Ocean Drake. And the Omnivamp is going to be very important. Or rather, it's a good deny, actually, away from BURIRAM. So, oh, no, that is unfortunate that the Dragon reset it over there.
It's fine. We're doing great. Yeah. It's all great over here. It's fine.
They're fine. They're fine. BURIRAM is nowhere near them. That's okay. They can afford for that reset, I suppose.
Han Solo putting down the phone. It's all good. We're fine here. FENNEL survived the Dragon reset. They do manage to get that Drake. Of course, BURIRAM did trade that for the Rift Herald, as well as some damage on the top turret. I believe the entire top turret falling.
Doming.
And it's gonna get worse, yeah. BURIRAM finding a kill, and they're gonna instantly summon this Rift Herald. That's the jungler gone. So it's not as bad as it could be, I say, because Doming doesn't offer too much teamfight potential, and that's what's gonna need to happen here. The turret still falls. Rift Herald will be shut down immediately afterwards, but it does its job. BURIRAM 2 turrets up.
Yeah, Doming is an important piece of this cog, right? The cat ball composition where Shaw is going to need that shockwave delivery system, and the only person that is able to immediately get in the middle of things is Doming. You can't exactly rely on Power because, again, he's having that stone plate on hand. It's not going to be a proto belt. It's not going to be aggressive for that engage apprehends. It's just there to be that tanky frontline for the side of FENNEL adversity. So Doming, if he dies, Shaw is going to struggle with that shockwave setup.
And I would encourage anyone watching these team fights to try and keep track of where Shaw's orb is. It's the little ball, little orb you can see hovering throughout the fights. It'll hang on ideally to Domeng or Power and ride them into these team fights so that there can be better engage outside of the range of Show so that you can get those shockwaves without Show himself having to put himself in personal risk. And it's a very important key to this FENNEL composition because that's really all of the big engage stun they have. It's Power, it's Show's shockwave, and then Rafa's got a root, but that's very easily deployed defensively, and that's kind of what you're saving it for.
Exactly, it is for Rafi's route to help Danny easily funnel through all the bombs in the world.
Pawn will be found.
Supporter.
Destiny is popped. Archony's right here. Oh my! Right into the fight. Slicing Maelstrom. Noel stuns them all up. He's got a quadra kill. Maybe only a triple on the board as Sheba stole one of them. But that was 4 players wiped off the face of the planet by Noel.
Shocked. I am shocked. What was that kick, Sheba? Into 4 people and then into the slicing Maelstrom from Noel? FENNEL Adversity, I'm sure they didn't see that coming because look at the map. It's so incredibly dark. They funneled all of their resources onto supporter. The support? Look at this. Sheba.
Wow.
What a play. That was massive.
That is exactly what you set up, Riku. When you said this slicing Maelstrom could find value, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, and now FENNEL Adversity are going to be very, very careful. They've got a taste. It didn't taste so good. It was bitter. So
Their hair standing up.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like bleh. It's bleh. Oh dear me. I feel like FENNEL, they're gonna be more hesitant now in like overstaying.
Oh, but there's the cat ball engage. The shockwave deployed. Sheba will be executed by Power. Supporter running for his life is tagged. Oh, double execute, double guillotine. FENNEL find 2.
I mean, I said FENNEL Adversity are gonna be careful, but without Noel around the vicinity, then they're not gonna be careful. They're gonna execute this cat ball comp, and they did it so well with the double man shockwave.
Very well done by Power to find those difficult to chase down kill finishes. BURIRAM
Well,
thinking about contesting here. Destiny open. Archony teleports to the bottom of the fight, lands a gold card
Maelstrom.
onto Show, but the pole slice Maelstrom combo isn't nearly as successful. Power just tanks it. Archony from the bottom of the fight turns onto Power,
Danny.
has him low, and all of FENNEL need to back away. They did get the dragon. They'll trade 1 for 1, and that will be the end of the action. Support for top laner. FENNEL take that trade, especially with the dragon.
BURIRAM with a nice response over there. We get to see Noel try to buy some time, try to get that set up. Couldn't reach the back line, which is understandable. But at least he was able to buy some time for Sheba and the rest of BURIRAM to get exchanged kills. Still doesn't change the fact, though, that FENNEL has 2 dragons on their end. So they're working towards their usual win condition, the Elder Drake win condition. And that is just 2 dragons away for them. And now, it seems to me that FENNEL Adversity are going to have to bait out the slicing Maelstrom before confidently entering a fight.
I love Power there, just stepping into the front lines and splitting that one, though. Keeps Noel from achieving anything with the slicing Maelstrom. He did have up. BURIRAM took that in a kind of weird position, but they still had the tools to make it work, and FENNEL did a good job countering them.
Yeah, they had a few exchange kills here and there, and Power being that big zoner, which, you know, explains getting that stone plate on the board, getting a lot of these tanky items for him to survive as much as he can. Looking at the items, look at that. Double Rabadons is coming up for that big, big yummy spike. And BURIRAM has to be careful once that appears in the inventory of FENNEL Adversity.
I'm not sure if you said it, but I just heard big, big, yummy spike. Is that what you just said, Rick?
I think that's what I said. Big, big, yummy spike! Kick!
Wow, that was a very yummy kick play, and it will find the kill. I'm in shock, and not just because of the play. Very well played by Sheba. Power's going to try and find some revenge. Noel flashes over the wall, saved by the heroic entrance. Excellently played by Supporter. Down Danny. Or down damage, and this gold card from Archony makes things very dangerous. This turret's just going to go down.
No,
There's the dive from Sheba, shut down, punished by Power. Oh, double kill past Arathi as he cleans up the low health bars from the back of the fight. The turret falls, but the trading goes 2 for 1 in favor of FENNEL.
A really nice response coming from FENNEL to go under the tower and then fight under there, forcing BRU to be a little bit scattered in their position. I think the biggest point there is that FENNEL, again, will always be brave to engage, to take BURIRAM on, as long as Noel's ult is down. And right now, they are going to be responding to clearing down the towers because they've got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, you can see just how much gold Noel has after that quadra kill earlier in the game. FENNEL needing to back away, full retreating here. Noel pulled over the wall! Noel pulled over the wall into the team and shut down! Here's the dive through the front line, though. Doming and Power both falling. Is there enough damage left for FENNEL? Back in the fight, Yawning Shadow finds the kill, but Sheba's still alive. He's got 2. Fast forward, looking for more. Show 1 HP, gold card from Archony. BURIRAM burn through FENNEL, and it's Kinemon just destroying them. Excellently done. There's nothing left for FENNEL, just Danny running for his life as Archony cleans up the last kill, and that'll be the Baron to BURIRAM in game number 3.
That's going to be a 3-man Baron here. Archony, everybody else are pretty low. Looking at the items now coming from FENNEL Adversity, I don't think they're going to be buying teleports. They're not going to be making it to this Baron potential steal, and BURIRAM secures this for themselves, and it's now going to be the sieging. And I think the biggest worry for FENNEL Adversity in these fights, in these dives, is that they don't have disengage. They're a pretty all-in comp. Taking a look at this again, really nice route coming from Danny, really nice pull coming from Power, but it still doesn't change the fact that FENNEL Adversity weren't ready for this fight. The shockwave was underwhelming because it only hit 1 target. At this point, if you have 2 items, you've got Rabadons, the shockwave must hit at least 3 to make an impact in these fights.
And they don't get that properly positioned shockwave, I think because Doming overcommits off the back of the play, tries to recommit onto the front lines as opposed to maybe letting that be a 1-for-1 trade, worst case, maybe letting Power go down if things go poorly. And they're not fighting in a choke point, they're not fighting as a team that you say is ready for a fight. FENNEL were midway through retreating.
Right now, FENNEL is going to keep banking on this tower defense, having to poke, and make sure everybody's low, and that's the time they go in. That's the time Doming's going to get that thrill of the hunt into that shockwave, so we'll see, because they're running out of time here, as now their base is slowly whittling away.
FENNEL do have a pretty massive ranged advantage, but there's a decent amount of dive available for BURIRAM, so one mistake means that, well, FENNEL just fold.
Yeah, it could be the game-ending push here.
Coming into the front line, stunned up,
Shockwave,
kicked away, Power takes over, tanking so much. Guillotine doesn't find a kill, but everyone's low, and Doming's hunting, looking for a way to get in. Archony zones everyone away. 1 player falls for FENNEL, that's Power gone, and they don't close any of the kills onto BURIRAM.
Really nicely done by Power, but at the same time, FENNEL Adversity just backed away so much, couldn't reach the low health targets on the side of BURIRAM. And now it is FENNEL again, having to lose on this defense. They have a decent amount of wave clear, but their composition calls for them to all be together to make sure that they can finish off the kill. And Power is a very integral part of that, because with poke comes great damage, but sometimes the damage may not be enough, so you need the guillotine. And Power falling means a lot of low health targets surviving from BURIRAM.
This does mean, though, FENNEL haven't lost an inhibitor. They are at a deficit, but they have a late game scaling composition. This Orianna, this Senna are going to do really big damage. Ziggs, that goes without mentioning. Do you think there's an angle for your boys from the Philippines?
Right now, BURIRAM's composition is so great for diving. You get Noel. They can just ignore towers, honestly, at this point, if they feel a little bit braver ending the game, because If FENNEL Adversity is just clumped up under the tower trying to clear the wave, no hesitation, Noel can kill them all, and Supporter will come in with the hero's entrance, and, you know, don't even need Baron. They can end the game.
So no, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that was the long
Yes, you
answer.
can,
The short
Riku.
answer is N no.
Betraying her region yet again.
No, I was like 100%.
I was with you
support.
during the Summer Super Cup when you predicted against Team Secret.
I'm just trying to not curse a team, okay?
Sure. She wins either way. She's playing both sides.
That's true. That is very true.
Baron here will be spotted out by that Mega Inferno Bomb as FENNEL step up. Can Doming do anything on the steal here? No. Shiba in, kicks him into the team. The focus is in, but there's so much shielding. Doming survives through it all, finally burned down. Shiba down to 1 HP is going to be knocked into GA by a bouncing bomb as Power holds on the front lines. FENNEL don't press aggressively enough to chase down these low HP kills, at least not yet. Power pushing forward, forces Noel out of the bush. Supporter, similar story. Kinemon successfully backs. FENNEL run the map for the next 10 seconds or so, but they're down a player.
Okay. If FENNEL is able to get a steal, which is possible because Doming will be able to leap through, even has a flash, and get out. If a Baron steal happens, maybe. FENNEL Adversity, though, remember, win condition Elder Drake. 13 seconds till Doming spawns. I don't think he can make it, so someone else has to take the helm.
Elder burned. Power steps forward. 2,000 HP on the Elder. 1,000 now back in front of him. In. It is too early by 100 HP. And BURIRAM get the Elder. Noel falls. And that should be game number 3. As BURIRAM have to fall away. FENNEL do manage to make a stand in the middle of this map. Doming steps forward. He finds 2. Noel cleans up the backlines though. Raphael will fall. And it's just Doming left on the map. A 1v3 with several players down to slivers of HP. Can Doming find any of them? He's not near any bushes. He can't leap Riku. He can't find these kills. He needs to be standing in the grass. But he can't touch any grass. And so Doming is just out of his natural habitat. In with the smite for the kill. Shiba laughs at him, stopping him from resetting as Kinemon and Noel step into the base and close out the Nexus, giving BURIRAM a 1-game advantage in this best-of-5 series.